You're right, everyone, back again in what will be the final of the interior builds for the castle. Apologies for the slight lateness on this one. My cold developed a bit of a chest infection, so I've been a grumpy little shit for the past few days. It's not serious, don't worry, but it's just an absolute pain in the arse. So this turned out to not be as long as I thought. I thought I would need loads to do, but most of the stuff I need to do is mostly decoration, which I don't like doing videos on just because I find it really boring to record and it takes me a long time. So in this one, basically, we're clearing this little area out here because I did want to farm. When I decided to do initially, I was going to have quite a large walkway going over here. But to be honest, I did want a little bit of open space. Just kind of mix things up a little bit, plus, you know, just actually not really good for growing crops if there's no light coming into the area. I had a bit of a pain in the ass. These fences, getting them straight, which is an absolute pain in the neck. Also, incidentally, you may notice I've already removed the crops first. I don't know if you've had this bug, and if anyone actually knows how to solve it, let me know. But the crops, sometimes you can't interact with them. Like, I'll be able to, you know, remove a load of them, but then I'll say, and for whatever reason, come back in the area and try to remove them again, and they won't be selectable. I had to keep kind of reloading, coming back, till I actually remove all of the crops in this area. I have a little bit of a nightmare with this, so if you know how to solve that, let me know. I have a little nightmare with that front fence, and getting these straight took a while. Now I'm going for the mute fruit, because one thing I've been doing is, I mean, I mentioned this before, I've been really lazy and just having mute fruit everywhere. I eventually will be going back and just filling this full of corn, potatoes and mute fruit, just so I can make vegetable starch, because I'm going to be making a lot of adhesive, basically, to actually, because everyone has armoured clothing and lots of guns. I moved that side because I wanted a little shack at the side here, nothing massively exciting. It's just going to be a little kind of farmhand area, and I realised I needed the entrance at a different side. This one is a little bit of an awkward area to build up because you've got that giant piece of rubble there. Annoyingly, we can't scrap it. One of those things we can all bitch and moan about, the fact that we can't actually just sweep up a little bit. I eventually had rain. Now, this I actually quite like what I ended up doing. So, you see what I'm doing there? I'm actually decided I wanted an entrance to this building rather than just having a little kind of like back entrance, which I do end up having anyway. I just like the idea of it actually leading onto the shack foundation. What I do is I raise it a little bit higher up than normal, so that way then I can put the small shack floors down and they just kind of snap in and cover up. It just looks nice and kind of cool. This is, well, yeah, see, it wasn't particularly too hard, and the good thing is that they snap into the railings a wee bit here. It's interesting once you get to this kind of level of just how built up this area is. Like, I was thinking to myself, how can I fit this in? So it's a bit closer to the edge than I would like, but because you have a path going through the building, it didn't really bother me too much, and you know, there's reasonably enough space at the back for you to actually squeeze in. Here. Just put my walls down. I had to go for the flat ones. Normally I like, as you've probably seen before, I like using the shackable floors. Not shackable floors, the shack walls and roofs, ceiling and roofs, whatever. Those ones you see me use all the time. But obviously, again, we're getting a little bit cramped in this. Quick note, and I noticed this. I think I mentioned it in the last video, but I think it was a bit more apparent. This settlement does suffer initially. It's only because it hasn't been decorated yet. It does suffer a little bit from the lack of repetition is looking like repetition, because obviously it's so built up. This pissed me off. I couldn't squeeze anything in. It's alright, we'll make it fine. Because it's so built up, some of the areas are almost looking like I'm repeating. It's fine, because what I'm going to do is once I decorate and actually almost break up the repetition, if you know what I mean, it will look fine, but I don't really want to make a video on that just because it's going to be something I'm going to do over the next couple of days. It's when I get home, and it'll stress me out to record it. Plus, I hate making decoration videos because it's the same shit all the time. So let's see, we're making a little thing here. I do believe I make a staircase. Oh yeah, the staircase I put on this one fits in perfectly. Now, I had a bit of, you may notice I'm having lots of stairs up to the castle walls. I'm quite pleased by this. It looks pretty grand, because I just like the idea there are so many ways up and down, because this place obviously is a bit of a maze, and the idea of like my last castle, the big issue of it was there were only a couple of ways up. I think there were 3 staircases. And I ended up kind of getting a bit pissed off. So here, I fiddle around and dick around with this for a little bit. And then I have a Davy. I'd call it a eureka moment. It's more of a Davy. Oh, why didn't you think of that, you twat? Because see, what I'm doing here is I'm obviously using that foundation, and actually, you know, keeping it, I guess, straight on the top of that. And then I have a little kind of, oh yeah, stupid twat. Do I do the stupid twat thing in a sec? No? Basically, I put 2 shack floors on and connect it to that. Oh, look, Davey, what a bloody brilliant idea, you dumbass. Sorry. Why didn't I think of that before? It looks a lot better. I also do fall down quite a lot as well, because why the hell not? Again, this one's a bit frustrating, because they're only like 4x4s. They don't have like a centerpiece, I guess. It means I can't have inside staircase. Well, I mean, I could, but you'd have, again, before you'd have a giant gap. Have a little bit of a nightmare. I almost tempted, you see me thinking about that double railing. I think about it, but it had one use. If it had snapped in there, it has happened before with the double railing, has actually snapped in a little bit easier, but it didn't work. So there we go. You proponents of the double railing, you had your chance and it let me down. So sorry. Oh, sorry if I have a coughing fit, by the way. I can feel my throat getting a bit tickly. Sorry, 1 second. I was going to think about actually cutting that part out, but to be honest, I'm going to have lots of coughing fits, so sorry. Please, you know, I'm not smoking as much, so we're all grand. So yeah, like, I expected so much more to do in this than what ended up happening. With the generator room, I did have a fiddle with it, and I decided to leave it how it is. The reason being, I'm explaining it now because this part's just a bit dull, is that it was very difficult. I initially put it next to where the water purifier is, but in terms of navigation around the castle, it was very, very difficult. Look how snugly that fits. Look at it. Look at it. Admire that. Looks glorious. Oh, the reason why it cuts out is because my thing stopped recording. I'll go back to it. Don't worry, it looks grand. But yeah, no. Basically, it wasn't very, very easy for my guards to reach the generator. And also it runs the risk of then having them spend all their time on the outside of the castle and not actually wander around the inside. So I've just kept it how it is, because we've got the nice little staircase and I can add details to it. See, look at this. Look at that. Look at it. Oh, it's beautiful. Beautiful. Love it. So I do waste a lot of time in a second. And I kept in because I want you to see you guys to see what I did. Basically, that little foundation part there, you may notice it doesn't have any railings around it. I'm going to sort it out in a sec. Initially, I did what we did for our guard towers, so I actually had what I'm doing right now, the junk fences. They were poking through the bottom way too much, so you're going to see me fiddle around and be a bit of a twat, and generally just not grand. Basically, it's not grand at all. But basically, it just didn't work, so I've just left it spindly because it's not too high. But I wanted to show you because this is what the Let's Build series is, me fucking around. Also, I have, oh yeah, I finally got rid of that generator. I'm really worried a little bit, because some people have mentioned that when you do this, it can actually make that Minuteman guy bug out, and actually not work. So I'm going, when I'm, tomorrow, when I just start decorating when I get home, actually, basically immediately attach the power as soon as possible, because I'm worried. I think it has something to do with the fact there being no power and then you get attacked. So I'm a little bit cautious. I mean, it's not dire, I guess, without Minuteman radio, but it's one of those things that will just bug me. So as you notice with these fences, it's something to always be bear in mind when you're actually using them. It's because they're obviously quite tall. They can poke through. Like you see there, it pokes through, and it just gets a little bit. It bothers me quite a bit. What I'm actually going to do, I forgot to do it in this video, because I take those off. As you can see them poking through the floor, it's an absolute pain in the ass. Is I'm just going to extend that railing out a little bit more, that foundation rather, a little bit more, so that way I can build the railings around the bottom. But we won't do that right now, because it's just a bit tedious, and it's just me adding 2 boards on. Also, my luck with the weather is really starting to annoy me. I swear, the second I hit record, it goes really bollocks. That's why it's a bit grey in this video, because I kept sleeping for days and I couldn't get nice sunshine, so deal with it. So, I mean, even though what I end up taking those off, what I did right there is a really good technique if I'm in trouble with these towers, is once you've, as I mentioned before, once you place them down, you can then rotate them and they clip a lot easier. That twat ass just like, fuck off. Yeah, yeah. What are you looking at, son? You can basically rotate them, and it's about where the rug is. So if you're having trouble fitting them in on like one side of the railing, you can just rotate them and then just kind of use the inside, because you've obviously got a lot more room to maneuver. But as you can see, it blocks up a little bit. It doesn't really work, so I can just go fuck it and just get rid of the whole bloody thing. But we'll sort those railings out in a wee bit. I do have a little kind of ponder. Can I do this? Can I do this? This is me having a little moment. A little Davey defining moment. So the next part is we had a little bit of issue with these. And obviously the fact that they didn't look structurally supported. I do have a change these roofs a little bit while I'm here, but the big part at the top here is obviously because the way the platform connects to each side of the castle walls, we can't actually have... I mean, I probably could actually, but I end up doing something which I'm quite happy with. We can't actually have like those doorways in at all, and it just kind of makes me kind of go, what do we do? So I end up having a bit of a fiddle, pop my railings back on, have a think, have a gander. I always find my thought process looks more entertaining, sped up twice as fast, because I'm like, I'm just like having a little bit of a moment. What we end up doing, spoiler, but I end up using the prefabs, basically moving them exactly into the right position. I didn't realise, and I'll show in a sec, that you can actually put shack floors. You know, well, when we get it, I'll show you. So I'm having a think, having a gander. This is my little moment here. So there we go. See those ones here? The ones with the flat roofs? Let's try and put them underneath. Obviously that doesn't work. But what you can actually do, and I'll show you in a sec, here we go, is you can actually put... I have to actually destroy everything and redo the whole part. But you can actually put shack floors perfectly on top of these. I didn't realise they're perfectly fitting. Now obviously initially I snapped them on like that. It looks a little bit weird. Then I have a little bit of thought. No, I actually don't have a thought. I end up trying to do it. But then I notice when I'm doing this is I can put the floors on. They fit on perfectly. So when I do that, what I can do is go, oh, right, okay. Then what I can do is I can basically just squeeze that on so it's all, you know, all grand and lovely. And then basically just double it up. I don't know why they haven't given us pole supports. It really pisses me off a little bit, actually. So should I do it like this? And then I eventually... Do I do it with this one? Or do I do it with the next one? But I eventually just say fuck it and actually just put them all in like this. It works really well. I mean, I don't know why we don't have those pole supports as a general structure. Like, clip them onto the corners or something like that. Yeah, there we go. See, we're having a little bit of a sort it out. So I have to kind of remove all this. It doesn't take very long, and it worked really well. It was one of those kind of little just... This video is full of lots of little stuff. You probably noticed there's nothing really major, but it was more showing you guys just the little issues I had that emerged from the way I was building, I guess. So just things like these supports and the entranceway as well. That's why it's just a bit of a shorter one, and why I didn't speed it up as fast, because I noticed in the last video it was a little bit too uber fast, because I think it's about 3.5 times the normal speed. So it works really well. It is a bit raised on the floor, which doesn't bother me too much. I just wish we could build those poles. So we're going to have a little bit of a speed moment here, doing the same thing. I know what I'm doing right now, so it's just a case of just kind of going through the motions and popping it on. I'm still quite impressed at how, like, well they squeeze in, though. That was pretty chipper. I don't know as well, like, you see notice that guard post there? That one's fine, and the other, it doesn't do it again. But I think it's because I removed some of the items off. It sank into the floor a little bit. I don't know why. I think maybe when I moved stuff, it immediately caused it to jump straight down, but hoping that doesn't repeat itself. I hate the snapping thing. It's like it's like an overly eager little kid or something that just wants to kind of go, hey, Davey, let me help you there. It's like Clippy or something like that off the old Microsoft. It's just stop snapping, yeah? If I wanted you to snap, I tell you to snap. You don't snap when I bloody want you to snap, you little shit. Sorry. It's the flu. Sorry. Oh, right. As you can see, it's just kind of tidying up a little bit. I know it's a lot, but I'm so happy with this castle so much, and I'm so happy I'm showing you guys, because it's so cool. It's possibly one of my favourite. I think every build I say this, but every build is becoming my favourite build because I'm trying to just use everything we've learned and just taking it even more steps forward. And some people have mentioned it, and I think it's apt to say this is exactly how I imagined the castle would look. And it's going to look really cool once I've added all of the decoration, just all the workbenches, flags, all that bollocks, powered it up and made it look really cool. That video, by the way, will be on Wednesday. I know my schedule's a bit fucked recently. It's just the chest infection. One, my voice, as you can hear already, is a bit croaky, but also, to be frank, I just feel really lethargic and can't be arsed. So now we're at the gateway. Now, I initially was going to have a bit of a moment here, because I'm trying to think, like, how do I do this? So I was thinking of, annoyingly, I can't snap the shack foundations in on the other side. I do try. We opt for something a bit more straightforward, but here's just kind of, like, some of the ideas I went through. Again, I tried to, sometimes this works right here I'm doing now, I could have snapped the shack foundation. It's just because, it's not that it's not centered, okay, maybe it isn't completely centered, but obviously both the sides aren't even, so I couldn't get it working perfectly. So I'm kind of having a bit of a moment on what I can do here. Do I pop? I do what I think I do, yeah. So initially I thought about using the actual junk fences, but again, the height of them, oh yeah, the rug glitch is being a bit of a nightmare in this one. All of my luck from other videos apparently is not translating into this one. So I should try this one here, and it just wasn't working. Oh, fucking rug glitch. And then I try and pop it inside as well. What we eventually do is just use the big fat ones. The big fat ones, and we pop them in at the edges, and then we actually basically just kind of put walls in. So here we go, we're doing it properly now. So popping some rugs down, having a grand time. I'm pleased to say these shack walls here are the most forgiving ones in the actual game in terms of using this kind of hold X rug glitch. They seem to kind of be able to actually touch your own items a lot better than some others. So we just do that twice, and then we put the junk fences in at the side. I have a bit of a nightmare with the rug glitch on this part. Some people have mentioned the where you put down the shack floor, and you can then, or foundation, whatever, and then you can actually it gives you a surface. It just works the same with me. Like, for some reason, when I put it on a shack, when I put it on an actual kind of player place structure, it just it doesn't work. So I just say fuck it, I'd rather just use the ground. So we have a bit of a think here. It's a bit fiddly. It's pretty straightforward, to be honest. The reason why I left this blank is because I didn't know what I was going to do with the entrance. Eventually we don't really do much with it. We just kind of basically just close off so you can't see the concrete, because I hate the look of concrete, so it looks a bit messy. So we just pop this one here. All very grand. See, this video is very much kind of like just the little bits video. It's nothing really game defining or kind of, massively creative. It's just about, okay, here's the boring shit basically that David has to do every fucking time. I do rugs for life, yo. Rugs for life is all I can say. Seriously, I will be lost. My channel will die if they patch. Well, it won't. But I'd be very annoyed if they patch out the rug glitch. So we go. Just popping that on here is having a bit of a nightmare with this. The problem with this one a little bit is also because I have to get these at the right angle to actually be able to place them in. Don't worry, we get it in, and I know it's a bit tedious, but you know what? It's all grand. There we go. Look at that. Good girl. Good girl. Just squeeze that one in there. See, look, it looks really grand. It's nice, kind of tight in there. Covers up the whole fine. It looks like basically almost most of the wall is actually made bare. So we have those little gaps there. They have to sort as well. Now, initially I was thinking of doing this using the wall ends, but it doesn't really work so well. These wall ends used to be, before I discovered the rug glitch and sort of Davey backstory here, I actually used to use these wall ends to cover every single gap, because they are... You can usually place them surprisingly close. If you've got a little error, and I still use it sometimes now, but it does allow you... Yeah, I just eventually scrapped the whole fucking idea. But it does allow you to actually that you can kind of use them to plug a little bit. Oh no, I don't scrap the old deer, I go back out. Oh yeah, I remember that. Someone added me on fucking PSN. They must have found my PSN and added me, and I thought it was going to appear up on the on the recording. Incidentally, any friend requests or messages don't appear in recording, so that's great. So eventually what we do is we just move these two a bit closer so it plugs the gap. Because it's only a little gap, it's not very much. So it's not too much of an issue. So we go rug glitch, bay the rug glitch. Oh, by the way, there's no little walk around tour at the end of this because we're not really done much, have we? Other than tidying up details, and there's no real point, and you'll get the big tour again on Wednesday with all the pretty little details and looking all nice. This one I had to be cautious because I had to keep checking inside because I didn't want it to, because it pokes through the roof. Oh yeah, my doors don't work, so it does poke a little bit. I probably shouldn't have, because you probably noticed I ran out of rubber. What I had, if you're doing this part, use the one without the barbed wire, because the barbed wire obviously makes it higher, and it generally is a thing that pokes in, but as I knew this one was going to be lower down anyway once I moved it, it wasn't too much of an issue, and I just really couldn't be asked to go back to Diamond City again. Sorry. It's a bit late as well. It occurs to me that I think I'm making a bit too much noise and waking up my flatmates, so fortunately the video's nearly over, so it'll be grand, and all I'll have to do is render. So this is the one that had a little bit of a nightmare placing it, because I knew it had to be at a weird bloody angle. You bastard. Don't worry, we get a little genius idea in a minute, which didn't occur to me, but the rug glitch, just, I keep reinforcing this, because I still get people saying the rug glitch doesn't work. You're probably doing it wrong, or it's just being a twat, so just keep at it. Yeah, watch my videos, watch Davey fuck around. So you notice this part here, obviously we've got a big problem, because it's very, very cramped in there. Oh, that was my flatmate knocking on the door. And I forgot to cut that bit out. So there we go, we put it here. I try and kind of move it a little bit so it's an easier angle. Still not very good. So what we end up doing in a minute is having a tantrum with myself. I believe I was shouted, God bloody damn it. So basically what you can do if you're in trouble like this, just make a big long train of rugs, and then it gives you a better reach. So basically it still use the collision of the first rug, but obviously still not long enough. So I think we placed down about 6 or 7. Yeah, rug train, choo-choo, motherfuckers. But that just worked perfectly, and it just squeezed straight in. All very nice. I did notice, you see that fence wall there? It's a little bit not straight, so I won't do it in this video, but when I go and decorate, I will just kind of just kind of tweak that other little fence piece there. Right, guys, that's it. I will have the tour up soon. Again, apologies for all the delays and stuff, but I'm very, very sick. You guys enjoy the rest of your week. Take care.